Now, this Gale Bedecker is a bona fide chemistry genius. I mean, he's got degrees up the wazoo, right? And as you might expect, he's a nerd's nerd, right? Vegan, sandals and socks kind of guy. As it turns out, he's also an #1 meth cook. Now, what caught my eye is his specialty products, blue.
So what are you thinking? This is your Heisenberg?
No, what I think we got here is Heisenberg's former cook, and maybe a line on Heisenberg himself. Anyway, lo and behold, amidst all the hippy-dippy nonsense, I find this. Now, this here, I do a little Google foo, and I realize it's a parts number, specifically for this baby. Yeah. That there is a high-volume HEPA industrial air filtration system. It's a $300,000 gadget to be perfect for a pharmaceutical plant or a microchip factory, or maybe the biggest meth lab north of the border.
Okay.
So this little dingus here is manufactured by a big international concern, Madrigal Electromotive. I call their Houston office, and eventually I get through to the nicest little 20-year-old temp. I use some of the Schrader sweet talk on her, and before you know it, she's pulling files for me. Turns out 6 months ago, one of these systems was shipped to a depot right here in ABQ. Who signed for it? Gale Bedecker. So I asked my new girlfriend who paid for it, and she says nobody. They have no record that anybody actually paid for this thing. So I go back and push more, and before you know it, the temp's gone. There's no forwarding address, and I'm talking to some snot-nosed corporate lawyer who's asking me for my badge number. Brick wall. So I take a peek into Madrigal Electromotive. Now, Madrigal is based in Hanover, Germany, but they're what they call highly diversified. Industrial equipment, global shipping, major construction, and a tiny little foothold in American fast food, specifically a local chain, Pollos Hermanos. Okay, so what, right? Bedecker's dead. I got no line on who's been bankrolling or where his lab was. The whole thing's a snipe hunt, right? But now I get this crazy idea, and I can't shake it. I mean, I stay up nights staring at the ceiling trying to make sense of it. That napkin. Remember I told you Bedecker's a vegan, right? I mean, we're talking this guy makes his own fermented lentil bread or whatever the hell that is. What's a vegan doing in a fried chicken joint? Maybe he's meeting somebody. Like who? Well, like maybe this guy. I mean, what do we know about Gustavo Fring, huh? This whole friend of law enforcement thing? Could be a case of keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I mean, he's got the money to finance this operation. Maybe he's got the connections too. Maybe, just maybe, he's our guy.
Hank, no offense, but I think you're really reaching.
If your guy had his meeting at KFC, you wouldn't immediately assume that he's sitting down with Colonel Sanders.
You know, I couldn't agree more, guys. Gustavo Fring, blue meth, you know. Whole thing is off the map nuts. I had to be wearing a tinfoil hat, you know. Except, can't seem to wrap my mind around this one little thing. And that is, what are Gustavo Fring's fingerprints doing in Gale Bedecker's apartment?